I've seen a lot of people taking their britches off to drop a big time steamer on this movie, saying how stinky it is and it's not worth watching, it's horrible. And I didn't think it was that bad. When I saw the previews for this, I was even somewhat optimistic. I mean, you got Nine Inch Nails doing the score for this, come on. That's at least going to be watchable in and of its own right. And the visuals looked really cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Jared Leto's work. I know him and I look like we share the same mother, but I haven't really been a fan of anything he's been in for a while. But I thought, even in spite of that, this could still be a good movie. And I just finished watching it, and I thought it was fine. Like, I was entertained. It's not amazing by any means, but it's not nearly as bad as I've seen a lot of people saying it is. Man, there are some people talking about this movie like it came in and fucked their grandma. Like, it is... it's not that bad. Like, the worst part about this movie is everything story-related and character-related, really, when it comes to the writing around the characters. It's very, very weak when it comes to its writing. Like, that is by far the big blemish with Tron Ares. But I also just don't think it even tried. Like, I really think the entire goal of this movie here was just to deliver a visual spectacle and just let Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails, just go fucking ballistic on the music. Because that's what it feels like the whole movie is. Just showing you really cool looking scene after really cool looking scene with some absolute boner jams. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the story first and foremost. It's pretty simple. It doesn't seem to follow anything from Tron Legacy, at least not from what I remember. Granted, it's been a very long time. But you have Dillinger, that's the bad company, and you have Incom. That's the good corporation. That's the one we pump our fist for. And these two companies are battling to try and find the permanence code, which will allow their basically 3D printed doodads and everything else to exist past 29 minutes. They have these lasers that can basically just create matter, anything they want, but it can only last 29 minutes before it times out and just fucking like vaporizes itself. And the permanence code will solve that issue. Dillinger wants to get its grubby paws on the permanence code so that way it can fart out weapons and evil stuff. And Incom, headed by Eve, wants to get their hands on the permanence code so they can change the world and basically eradicate disease and hunger and everything, since they can print everything you could ever imagine endlessly. Our main character is Jared Leto, Ares. He is the basically cybersecurity hall monitor superstar of the Dillinger grid. He is an AI program in charge of basically carrying out all of Dillinger's nefarious directives without question. A soldier for him. Dillinger is Umbrella Corp here, they're the bad guys. And Ares, he starts to become, like, empathetic. Like, he starts to feel things, and he is tasked with stopping the lead of Incom, her name is Eve, who has found the permanence code. And in doing so, he decides, you know what, I'm going to defy my orders because I want to live. I'm tired of being a program that dies after 29 minutes every time I get, snapped into the real world here. I want to experience life. He becomes very curious. He develops a soul. It's nothing you haven't seen before when it comes to its writing, and it is definitely the weakest part of this movie. There's not a ton of depth to any of the characters. They're not like overly fleshed out or anything. It's very simple. But I think it's effective enough to get you from set piece to set piece. So like, they have the technology to digitize you. So Eve, she gets cornered by Ares and Athena, who is the other cybersecurity superstar of Dillinger. And then she gets fucking minted on the blockchain because they have a laser that can reverse particle, Higgs boson, big ball buster, and zap you into the grid. So they mint her on the blockchain, turn her into an NFT. That way they can extract the permanence code from her, killing her in the process. And Ares, this is his chance. She knows the permanence code, so he's going to save her, defying all of his orders, so that way she can help him survive past 29 minutes in the real world so he gets to experience life. He wants to funge the non-fungible. And in doing so, you get to see the grid, which is very cool looking, and you get to see some action in the real world using these 3D printed, light cycles and the programs. It's cool visually. It's just the writing is really wimpy. It's not well written, and I don't think you're going to see a lot of glaze for that. I imagine most people are going to say the same thing about this film, that it looks really cool and it sounds really cool. And that's it. And they're right, that is it. But that's a big bulk of the movie. Like, that's like, it put all of its eggs in that basket. There's not a whole lot else outside of those two things anyway. So, while the writing is weak, and while there is definitely some cringe scenes here, I don't think it, like, ruined my enjoyment of just, like, a simple popcorn flick where I'm watching, you know, extreme lights blow up and shit and video game sound effects with, like, a really great Nine Inch Nails track playing. So yeah, it definitely has its flaws. I really think that pretty much everything it set up with the characters was a miss. I just don't see many people going into this film being like, wow, that villain was so deep and complex. Like, he is literally just, one note, that's it. And I've seen that criticism about him as well, and it's true. He doesn't, that's all he is. He's just like, I must get permanence code to do bad stuff for money. He even point blank says, $1 trillion I will make with blood money, Ares, and it's your job to help me do it. That kind of thing. Like, it's very hammered home. It's not a good villain, and our main character is fine, but not super deep either. I'm talking about both Eve and Ares. Neither one of them gets a whole lot of tender loving care put into, like, building this character up to make you invested in them. But even with these flaws, I still did have fun watching the movie. Because, like I said, most of the film is just showing you really cool visuals either in the grid or even outside of the grid. Because they bring the grid to the real world frequently. In fact, I don't think you're ever in the real world without the grid, you know, being present in some way. Whether it's Ares and Athena coming out there or something. Like, pretty much every scene is going to have some cool shit from the grid. And the music is just so good. So I had fun. It's not great. It's not an amazing movie, but I think it was still an entertaining one. That's really about it. See ya.